Morning. Right then, I think it's about time I did a little bit of talking again. Over COVID now, which is good. The last time I spoke I had COVID, so that's all gone, done and dusted. And the bike has changed shape quite a bit since the last video, so I'll do a little bit of a walk around as to what I've been up to, if I can remember it all. I'll start at the front, work my way back. Front disc has been taken off, refurbished, painted, put back on. Front caliper been serviced, painted and put back on. The front electrics, etc., and cabling on the front has all been organised and is looking neater with cable casing, etc., on. Conduit, I believe it's called. Front indicators, bullet style indicators, have been positioned. Originally, I think in the first video I was going to mount them on the bars. However, I tried that and you just couldn't see them. It was just too busy. So we bought some little mounts for them for the forks, and they sit quite nicely on there. I still need to paint that a little bit black. There's still little bits and bobs that need doing, but I'm just doing it as we go along, really. Bars changed. The new risers that took about 6 weeks to get here arrived. Really happy with them. I thought they looked really nice. And also I managed to get two of them, two sets anyway. Basically because the original set took so long, the company sent another set. By the time the other set had got here, the originals turned up, of course, but they were quite happy just to let me have both, so that's quite cool. Mirrors, different style mirrors. Yeah, not really much to say about them. The fuel cap, the little spinny cap thing on the original one had broken, so that's been replaced. Anything further down this side? Number plate has been side mounted. Again, bullet style indicators on the back there. I don't think there's a lot that side on the rear. As you can see, the airbox housing has been painted. It's like a grey colour, which I quite liked. I know the rest of the bike's black, but I actually quite like the contrast between the grey and the black. I thought it looked quite smart. Exhaust has been slightly tweaked, as you'll probably hear at some point. Rear end, the whole rear end, as in the back wheel, etc., sprocket, chain, etc., has all been off. It's all been hand painted. All the little spokes, which took bloody forever, in the back wheel, they were all rusty and horrible, to the point that no matter how much wire wooling you did, it just would not come clean. So they were sanded down and painted instead. Obviously it's all had a clean on the rear end, the rear brake arm there, that's all polished, as some of you may have seen some of my photos, etc. The biggest change obviously is the rear end has been chopped and bobbed. I've discussed it with a few people in terms of how high that kind of rear flick sits. I feel like it sits quite high. However, when you do sit on the bike, obviously it compresses the spring and lowers it down, so it's not so bad when you've actually got the bike under load, although it sits quite high now. But I'm quite happy with that. Rear end wise, tidied obviously that chop up there with a door seal, believe it or not. Some of you may know from my previous adventures, I did a lot with Star Wars and costuming, cosplaying, etc. That, believe it or not, was something that we used to use on the bottom of the helmets, bottom of the buckets. It just sealed the plastic off nicely. Say sealed, it just finished it off, it trimmed it nicely. So I've reused that just to make it look a little bit neater and tidier. Rear light, I'm quite happy with this rear light actually. originally this bracket here underneath came out to about here and here, so I've chopped that. It's actually a number plate bracket. I've chopped it, reversed it, so bent it the opposite way, and it now works as the mount for the actual light. Obviously this is still metal coloured. I just need to touch up that with a little bit of back paint just to finish that off nicely, but I'm quite happy with that. The rear seat was a bit of a pain in the ass because all this kind of leather, well, it's probably not leather, it's probably synthetic, but this was all attached to the rear seat section, so I had to cut that, reshape it all and glue it all and staple it all back in place underneath. It's not the neatest, I'll be honest. I prefer a Springer seat on it, but that is further down the line possibly. I've been toying with the idea of buying a hugging or a rear wheel hugging fender or mudguard in the UK, at which point I'm toying with the idea of following the contours of the rear end here and chopping it from there, and then mounting a Springer seat obviously to the frame underneath where the seat is at the moment, but that's going to be something further down the line. I think that is about your lot, to be honest. I'll probably think of something else when I stop filming, but just give you a little bit of a view of the whole bike. I will probably do a video at some point with the sound of the exhaust. Again, I'm toying with the idea of getting some different pipes on it. I'd love Vance & Hines pipes, but they're bloody expensive, and it's a 400 at the end of the day, so whether I invest in Vance & Hines or whether I just get some cheaper straight pipes, I'm not sure, to be honest. We will see. I'm quite happy with it so far. I think it sits nicely, apart from like I say, the rear end sits a little bit high for me, but yeah, that's a little update as to where I'm at. Oh, the fork seals we've had them done as well, so they're all nice now. They were leaking and peeing out everywhere, so they're all done, ready to rock, and it's been MOT'd, so it's got a fresh ticket on it. So I can't have done too badly if it's passed an MOT, dependent on, of course, where you take it for an MOT. The guy that does mine, he's quite a decent bloke. I'd prefer him to be quite strict with it, because then you know everything's right, you know, and you're not going to go half a mile down the road and come unstuck. So I'm quite happy that it's passed under strict regulations or observations or whatever you want to call it. So, but yeah, I'm quite happy. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all soon, hopefully for another video.